Hello friends, welcome back. This is Himanshu Verma. Till now we have studied some important terms which are used in waveguide propagation. Those terms are, for example, cutoff wavelength and cutoff frequency. Cutoff wavelength is 2d upon m and cutoff frequency is mc upon 2d. Then cosine of theta I, which is given by m lambda upon 2d. Then from cos of theta I we can calculate sine of theta I, which can be written in the form of any of these expressions. Then we learned about two velocities. Group velocity, which is less than velocity of light and given by c sine of theta I. Phase velocity, which is greater than velocity of light and given by c upon sine of theta I. Also we have one more expression, that is product of phase velocity and group velocity is equal to c square. This expression can be used to calculate either of velocity if one velocity is given. Now because there is motion of electromagnetic wave in x direction and z direction, that's why two phase constant comes into picture. First is phase constant in z direction denoted by beta bar equal to 2 pi upon lambda g, or can be written as beta sine of theta I. And second is phase constant in x direction, which is also known as cutoff phase denoted by h, and it is equal to 2 pi upon lambda c, which is also equal to m pi upon d. Then we have expression for phase velocity in terms of beta bar, where vp is equal to omega upon beta bar. After that we have a relation between operating wavelength, guided wavelength and cutoff wavelength, which is given by 1 upon lambda whole of square is equal to 1 upon lambda g whole of square plus 1 upon lambda c whole of square. So these are some expressions which we have already learned in previous lectures in detail. Now if we observe phase velocity and group velocity expression carefully, then we find that both of these velocities depend upon frequency of operation. It means different frequency components will travel with different velocities, and that's why they will reach at destination place at different times. Actually this is an unwanted phenomena which is found in waveguide propagation. If we talk about free space unbounded medium, in that case velocity of wave was equal to velocity of light, and velocity of wave does not depend upon the frequency. It means in free space unbounded medium propagation dispersion phenomena does not exist, but in waveguide propagation where boundary exists dispersion phenomena is found. Because dispersion is an unwanted phenomena, that's why now question arises how we can minimize it. Dispersion phenomena can be omitted only if this group velocity and phase velocity becomes equal to c, and this can be achieved only if this factor tends to 1, and this is possible only if this term, that is fc upon f whole of square, tends to 0, and it becomes 0 if frequency of operation is very greater than cutoff frequency fc. So one way is increase the operating frequency, but if operating frequency is fixed, then another way is decrease the value of cutoff frequency, as cutoff frequency is given by mc upon 2d. So for a given dimensions, cutoff frequency depends upon mode of operation, that is value of m. It means for lowest mode of operation, that is lowest value of m, cutoff frequency will be minimum. So one way to minimize the dispersion effect is use the lowest mode of operation, because lowest mode of operation will give lowest cutoff frequency, and lowest cutoff frequency will give lowest dispersion effect. We can understand dispersion effect in terms of phase constant also, as generally for free space unbounded medium beta is equal to omega upon c. It means beta is directly proportional to frequency of operation, but in case of bounded medium, that is waveguide, the effective beta is beta bar, which is responsible for the propagation of energy in z direction, and beta bar is omega upon c into sine of theta I, that is 1 minus fc upon f whole of square under the root. Therefore in waveguide propagation the phase constant is not directly proportional to frequency. In fact it has some other function of frequency. This is also a symptom of dispersion phenomena. So finally we can say that for non-dispersive behavior, velocity of wave should be independent of frequency, and phase constant beta should be directly proportional to frequency. But for dispersive behavior, velocity of wave is a function of frequency, and phase constant beta bar is not directly proportional to frequency. In fact it will have some other function of frequency. So this was all about dispersion phenomena. Now we move further and do some analysis. As we all know, a transverse electromagnetic wave, that is TEM, contains electric field vector and magnetic field vector, that is E and H. And these two vectors move in forward direction, which is known as direction of propagation. For free space unbounded medium, this electric field vector, magnetic field vector and direction of propagation are mutually perpendicular to each other. This propagation is known as TEM because in this the electric field vector and the magnetic field vector both are perpendicular to direction of propagation of energy. But if we know about waveguide propagation, then in parallel plane waveguide, suppose these are two planes and this is electromagnetic wave whose electric field vector is in this direction and magnetic field vector is out of the paper. So if we take E cross H, then wave will propagate in this direction and this wave will be reflected with the boundary and move in this direction and again reflected by the boundary and move in this direction and so on. In this way, the wave energy will propagate in this direction, which is Z direction. If we observe carefully and compare the angle of electric field and magnetic field with direction of energy propagation, then we find that this electric field vector is not perpendicular to this Z direction, but this magnetic field vector whose direction is out of the paper is always perpendicular to Z direction, which is actual direction of energy propagation. So we can conclude that in this type of propagation, only magnetic field vector is transverse to direction of energy propagation and electric field vector is not transverse to direction of energy propagation. Therefore, this kind of propagation is known as transverse magnetic wave propagation, denoted by TM. Now similarly, we take another case in which suppose this is electromagnetic wave whose electric field vector is out of the paper and magnetic field vector will be in this direction, so that the wave can travel in this direction because E cross H is in the direction of propagation. Here only electric field vector is transverse to direction of energy propagation and magnetic field vector is not transverse to direction of energy propagation. Therefore, this type of propagation is known as transverse electric wave propagation, denoted by TE. So in this way, we can conclude that there are three types of wave propagation is possible. First one is TEM. In this type of propagation, both electric field and magnetic field are perpendicular to direction of energy propagation, which is generally found in free space unbounded medium. Next two are TE and TM. In TE, only electric field vector is transverse to the direction of energy propagation, and in TM, only magnetic field vector is transferred to the direction of energy propagation. Both of these propagations are generally found in bounded medium. For example, in waveguides. In other words, we can say that in waveguides, either of TE or TM mode will propagate. Now we will study these two ways of propagation in parallel plane waveguide. First, we take transverse magnetic wave propagation. To study this propagation, this diagram would be suitable. If we observe this diagram carefully, then we find that there are two fields, incidence electric field and incidence magnetic field, denoted by EI and HI respectively. Now EI field has two components, one component in X direction and second component in Z direction, while magnetic field is only in Y direction. That's why it has only one component, that is EY. It does not have any other component in X or Z direction. So in this TM mode propagation, in parallel plane waveguide, EX will exist, EZ will exist and HY will exist. Now we will write expression for these three components. Before writing these three field expressions, we remind how we wrote electric field and magnetic field expression in free space propagation. At that time, we wrote electric field vector E is equal to E naught, which is amplitude of the wave, into some lossy term. For lossless medium, that term will not come, and because the electric field is sinusoidally space varying, that's why e power minus j beta into unit direction in which wave is propagating. This term shows that the wave is propagating in this unit direction and also the wave is sinusoidally varying in this unit direction. And finally we write e power j omega naught t. This term we written because the wave is sinusoidally time varying also. And finally we write orientation of electric field, that is AE cap. Then we wrote expression for magnetic field. H is equal to H naught, which is amplitude of magnetic field, e power minus j beta into unit direction in which wave is propagating. The unit direction will remain same because both electric field and magnetic field are propagating in same direction, into e power j omega naught t into orientation of magnetic field component, that is AH cap. Also, the electric field and magnetic field are connected with intrinsic impedance. That's why E naught upon H naught is equal to eta naught, where eta naught value is 120 pi or 377 ohm. Now, making reference of these two equations, we write expressions for Ex, Ez and Hy. As we know, if angle of incidence is theta I, then this angle will also be theta I. Then this angle will be 90 degree minus theta I. And finally, this angle will be theta I. So, Ei component in Z direction would be Ei cos of theta I. And in X direction, it would be Ei sin of theta I. As we are writing Ex component, that's why Ex is equal to Ei sin of theta I, because this is amplitude in X direction. Now this Ex component is moving in this direction, which again has two components, in X direction and Z direction. We will write these two directions components separately. First we write X direction component. As we know, in X direction the phase constant is small h, so we can write e power minus jhx, because this is the term for X direction propagation. Now in Z direction the phase constant is beta bar, so we will write e power minus j beta bar into Z. This component is due to Z direction propagation. As in X direction the wave will encounter some boundaries, that's why there would be some restriction on this term. As in Z direction there is no boundary, so there will not be any restriction for this term. Now because this Ex component is time varying also, so we write e power j omega naught t into Ax cap, because this component is in X direction. Now we write expression for Ez. Now in Z direction the component is Ei cos of theta I, so we write Ei cos of theta I. This is amplitude term, because this component is also moving in X and Z direction, so e power minus jhx, this is for propagation in X direction, and into e power minus j beta bar Z, this is for propagation in Z direction, into time varying term and into Az cap. Now we write Hy component, because Hy do not have any other component, so it remains Hi into same terms, because this component is also moving in X and Z direction, into time varying term into Ay cap, because this component is in Y direction. So friends, in this way we can write expressions for electric field and magnetic field in parallel plane waveguide for TM mode. In the next lecture we will learn about the restriction on this term, that is e power minus jhx, due to presence of boundaries in X direction, and after that we will learn TE mode of wave propagation. Friends, we stop here. Please like and share the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.